You should take between 10 and 20 minutes to complete the early bird questions, which is the amount of time we would have in school. On this question, you're asked to spot the mistake on the line graph. So looking at the table, we've got information about different weeks and the height in centimetres of a sunflower. Looking at how it's been plotted on the line graph, can you spot where the error is? Where it doesn't match the table. From the graph we can see that the error is in week 2. The height should be plotted at 6 centimetres on the y-axis, however it has been plotted at 16 centimetres on the y-axis. So the problems today are all around plotting and making our own line graphs. So this is a practice to do together. We've been given some information about the average temperature in a week in Pickering. Then we need to complete the line graph by adding in the missing elements. We can see that y-axis is already labelled with numbers. However, the x-axis is empty and there are missing labels on the x-axis, the y-axis and a title. So what we can think, well, the numbers are already vertically at the y-axis, so we would label them as temperature and then in brackets degrees Celsius. The title would be the graph to show the average temperature in a week in Pickering. And then the x-axis, which goes horizontally, on there we should label the days with each day going underneath each dash on the x-axis and label underneath in the box day. Then we would plot the points on the line graph. So for Monday we would plot that at 10 degrees. So 10 degrees is between 9 and 12, but it would be closer to 9 than 12. So it would be about a third of the way between 9 and 12. Tuesday would be the second dash across, and then that would be plotted at 12 and so on. When you've plotted all of your points on the grid, you would join them up with a ruler to make a line. Now we can see the title of the graph has been labelled the average temperature in Pickering in a week. We've got the temperature on the y-axis labelled with degrees Celsius in brackets showing the units. We've got day labelling the x-axis on the bottom with the days underneath each dash, and then we've got the points marked on the grid in the correct place and joined up with dots. This is what you're going to need to be doing later in your challenges. In today's writing, we'll be using the information and the plan that was created on Monday and Tuesday to start to draft a report. So on the next few slides, I'll go through that and explain how. So your drafted piece of writing from Wednesday should include all of these elements, especially the ones highlighted in red, which are going to be the focus for our editing today. I've edited my original text in the yellow box underneath, so I've made sure my subheading was a question and it was underlined to make sure the reader is thinking and it's clear. And then I've also edited all of my sentences to make sure I've added technical vocabulary and factual information using specific numbers where possible, using my research notes. I've also changed how the sentences start, so it's not always with the noun Venus. So I've used words like interestingly or like the earth, comma. And I've also used a variety of punctuation, so brackets for extra information, semicolons to join linked sentences, and commas for extra information also. Today's reading will not actually include any words in terms of text to read. It will be based around a picture, which is on the next slide. Look closely at the picture, make sure you kind of try and take in all the details. The picture will appear on every slide, you can always come back to this slide as well. But all the questions should refer to this picture. All the answers to the questions, sorry, should refer to this picture. These questions are slightly different to our normal quiz questions. It's more about making predictions and using what you think based on the picture. So there aren't really any wrong answers as long as you can justify what you're saying based on the picture. So the video shows a time-lapsed series of photographs that are taken over one day, where it shows the sunrise and the arc that the sun appears to make during the day in the sky, and then sunset and back into darkness. The sun appears to move across the sky, however the sun is not moving at all. It is actually Earth which is moving. So Earth rotates once every 24 hours on its axis, and this rotation is what makes the sun appear to move in the sky. But it's really important that we understand that the sun doesn't actually move. From watching the movement of the sun, we can see why earlier scientists used to believe that the Earth was at the center of the universe, because we cannot feel the Earth's rotation, however we can observe the sun moving across the sky. However, with scientific discoveries, we've come to understand more about how the Earth moves within our solar system, orbiting the sun.